How to become unstuck? Well, if you're asking this question, then obviously you are feeling stuck in some way or another. And normally what happens is that we tend to look outside of ourselves for how to get ourselves unstuck. And the answer generally isn't outside of us, because when you're looking outside and trying to shift the pieces around outside, well, normally what will happen is things will go back to the configuration that they were in before, reconfiguring themselves the way they were in some form or another. Maybe they express in different ways, but it's the same thing underneath. So if you're looking for the answers outside on how to become unstuck, if you're looking for your happiness outside of you, well, the answers are not going to be there, and you're probably going to be disappointed. So if you're looking for what is causing you to be stuck, then the answers are within. So as you start to look within, perhaps first you start to go in through terrains of emotion, from the stuckness. Maybe it's feeling helpless or angry or frustrated or upset in some way or another, or maybe not. However, the stuckness manifests in emotion. And if you look further underneath the emotion, or at least give the emotion some room and space to express itself, then you'll start to uncover into deeper layers. And a lot of times the stuckness comes from what I call the operating system of the mind. And the operating system of the mind is a narrative that plays out. And the narrative meaning based on the information that you have, this pattern recognition machine over time, over and over again, has come up with a certain narrative, a certain meaning, a certain story that is made up based on the information that you have through your life. And it's probably the same or similar narratives that play out, but underneath it, it's the one common theme that's running. And this is essentially what causes the stuckness in our life. Uncovering this, looking at the detail of this, requires awareness. It requires, I want to say, courage to look within. Essentially, it's just a choice. Because you don't really need courage, because it's not scary. It may seem scary before you jump in, but as you allow yourself to go in and delve in, a lot of times people wait for things to get so bad, so serious, before they actually are almost pushed into it or forced into it by life. But a lot of times as you go through it, you might find that it's not as bad as the mind made it out to be. Now, as you start to look within and you start to delve within and start to bring awareness of the narrative of the story, it will give you clues on why you're feeling stuck. So for example, if the stuckness is around constantly, consistently running into not feeling loved, or if the narrative is seeking approval and looking for approval, well, that's a guaranteed recipe for disappointment, to be frustrated and to feel stuck. Because if you're looking for approval outside of you, if you're looking for how to be loved or that you are loved outside of you, chances are that pattern is going to keep finding ways on how you're not loved enough, or how you're not enough, or how you're not accepted, or how you're alone. And it's going to keep proving that rather than the opposite, which is that you actually are loved, that you actually are accepted. And when you start to tap into those frequencies, those vibrations, the truth of who you are, then there is no room for stuckness. You're not stuck. So essentially, it's connecting with the truth of who you are. And that is the journey that we go through in our inner work. As you uncover the layers, as you start to move through feel, which is awareness, and then into the healing process and looking at what's underneath and uncovering that and healing it, and then there is room for you to create anew from not stuck, but actually completely free and abundant and joyful and happy. And essentially, this is what an awakened life and living an awakened life is about. It's about crafting out consciously, creating that and living it out. And before you do that, to clear out the stuff in the way. That should make sense logically, but actually that logical process has a very deep, consciously crafted out process that you would go through. Therefore, to become unstuck is to look within and start to uncover the stuckness, or bypass that and go straight to connecting with the truth that you are not stuck, that you are completely abundant, that you are completely free, and that you are not stuck. And from this place, living out your life, crafting out and living a life consciously, what I call your awakened life. This essentially is the journey that we go through in our Awaken program, and coming up soon is our free Awaken Masterclass, and you're invited to. So see the details below this video to be notified first when we announce this masterclass. See you on the inside of the masterclass.